Good evening. Tonight at approximately 5:18 p.m., Oxford Police responded to a 911 call, which apparently, and I say apparently at this point because it was still very early into the investigation, from a woman who lived at the house on Old Webster Road. At the same time, there was a competing 911 call that came in from a male who lived at the same address. That call was rerouted to the State Police Holden Barracks. There were shots fired. This appears to be a tragic case of domestic violence within the house. We have a woman that died within the house. At the time those shots were fired, a 13-year-old in the house took a 4-year-old child, opened the window, and escaped to safety. While they were in the house, Oxford Police responded, along with an assist from the Charlton Police. When they got to the house, they found a woman deceased in the kitchen who died apparently of a gunshot wound. Behind the house, they found the male who lived at the house as well, also dead apparently of a gunshot wound. Like I said, it is still apparently, because we're early into the investigation. EMS responded. They started some life-saving measures that were quickly stopped, as it was very apparent that both people were dead. State police assigned to the Worcester County DA's office were called by the Oxford Police, responded to the scene, as well as the State Police Crime Scene Services in the office of the medical examiner. 2 people, both deceased, have been removed from the scene. When Oxford Police responded to the scene, they immediately took one child who remained in the house, a 3-year-old. That child was rescued and brought to safety. We are continuing to do the work. The investigation will progress throughout the night, but I'd like to turn it over to Chief Sad, Oxford Police Chief, at this point.
I just want to assure this that it's an isolated incident to this particular location. We're in the process of trying to determine the activity at this home as far as officers' response in the past to see if there's anything that could assist us with this investigation. But at this point, there have been to this particular residence at this time.
So like I said, it's early investigation. We can try and take a question or two, but I really don't know that we can add too much more to what you've already been given.
Do you know if the deceased are husband and wife?
I don't believe they are at this point, no.
A couple? Are they relatives?
What we know at this point is they appear to be a couple, not relatives, no boyfriend, girlfriend.
And would you characterize this as an apparent murder-suicide?
It looks that way, yes.
Are the children their own?
We're determining that at this point. There were 3 children, from 2 together and 1 from a previous marriage.
To clarify, you said both the man and the woman called 911 at separate times?
The woman called first, and like I said, there were sounds. We're not sure exactly what was on the 911 call, but she did call 911, yes. And I've been told by the Oxford Police that he then called himself. That call got bounced because the Oxford Police were on the call with the woman. That call got bounced to the State Police. The State Police Holden Barracks then responded as well.
Can you give the ages of the children one more time?
Yeah, children are 13 years old, 4 years old, and 3 years old. They're at the Oxford Police Department now. The Department of Child and Family Services has responded. We understand they're getting trauma-related services at this point.
Can you say if anybody... Give us an explanation of how the 2 children escaped. We heard them may have run to a neighbor. Can you give us some details on that?
The 13-year-old was a pretty courageous young kid. He took the 4-year-old in his arms, opened the window, ran out the window to a neighbor's house. That neighbor also called 911. When the Oxford Police got there, they went in. They got to the scene. They don't know what they had at the scene. He immediately ran. The Oxford police officer ran in, grabbed the remaining child, and rescued that child, brought that child to safety.
Is anyone in the house licensed?
Both are licensed. It's our understanding at this point, but we still have a little bit more work to do. It appeared that they were legal. It was a legal firearm, yes.
Did you recover a firearm at the scene?
Yes.
One.
Right now, all we have is 1, yes.
And you said there had not been any recent prior incidents at this home?
No, their Oxford Police are investigating that. It's our understanding the police were out here, whether it was they have 3 dogs, Rottweilers, it appears, Rottweiler mix. They have been out here. One time one of the dogs was loose. We're not sure if on the other occasions it was domestic disturbances or not. They're making that determination now.
So we can be super clear, I'm sorry. It appears as though the man in this case shot the woman and then shot himself.
That's what it looks like. Yes, an apparent murder, tragic case of domestic violence. It appears to be a murder-suicide, yes. All right.
Yeah, good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good night. Thank you.